Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back to the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. This is Shane and Jason here today. No Matt, unfortunately, again, he's dealing with some family stuff, so he took this episode off, but so glad to be back with the rest of you guys here today. Jason, how you doing, my guy?
Doing well. Glad to be back. You know, I'm always up for the challenge. Sometimes Matt has things to deal with, but hey, your boy is always here. I'm like the Iron Man.
The Iron Man, he says. All right. No, but yeah, it's great to be back. It's gonna be a wacky wild week of football, and I'm excited to kind of dive into some of this stuff. It is the trade deadline for those of you that didn't know, so we have some news on that as well. And speaking of news, Jason, what do you say we just get right into it?
Let's get it, baby.
It's time for news and notes. Breaking news. Let's start with the trades, Jason. We have three that are fantasy relevant. The three are Khalil Herbert from the Chicago Bears to the Cincinnati Bengals. That's big because Zach Moss was put on the IR. It means Khalil steps in as the RB2 there. He's a serviceable back. May have some fantasy value. Jonathan Mingo to the Dallas Cowboys. He will be receiving passes most likely from Cooper Rush for the remainder of the season. More on that in a little bit. And Mike Williams goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, of all places. Jason, how are we feeling about any of those landing spots? I mean, I'm partial to the Khalil Herbert. I think this is the only one that splashes, in my opinion. The other two, they're moves.
Their moves is what we want to say. I mean, I do feel like the Steelers did need another serviceable wide receiver too. I mean, like Calvin Austin the third, Junior the second, the third is not really a serviceable number two to where I don't mind it. But at the same time, the Mingo trade makes no sense to me with a team that is 3-5, if I'm correct, with a quarterback who they're paying $60 million, who has a $90 million cap hit next year, who is not going to play for the next 3 years, for the next 4 weeks, to where it's like, okay, Cooper Rush, what's he going to do? I feel like it's a time for Trey Lance, but we'll see what happens. But I mean, yes, I agree with you. Khalil Herbert makes the most sense out of all three.
Oh yeah, and funny enough, if you are tuned into the Twitter sphere that is the Dallas Cowboys, people are calling for Trey Lance to run the Taysom Hill role, which is so wild.
That's wild.
I'd love to see it. Not gonna lie, would love to see it. But yeah, I digress. I did, Jason. Let me backtrack 1 sec.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did forget to say, people. First of all, like, subscribe, hit the bell till it goes ding, and go follow us on our Twitters and links down below in the description. Also, go and download the episode on Apple Music. Well, not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, we are found. And also head over to fantasy6pack.net. That is who is officially our partner for all of our fantasy and betting episodes. So shout out to those guys. Their content is amazing. The website is fantastic. I built an almost winning projections parlay this past week. So yeah, they have great stuff. The rankings are top tier and the projections are great. gives you a little insider knowledge. Yeah, now back to business. Nico Collins, expected to come off IR. We are unsure of if he'll play this week. Definitely monitor the practice reports if you are a Nico Collins owner and you're looking to play him this week. Speaking of another guy off IR, Christian McCaffrey. Come on down, buddy.
There he is, baby.
It's here. He's here. He's back.
It only took 9 weeks, baby, or 10 weeks.
Listen, let me just say this. I don't trust Shanahan at all. So, like, while he may be back, I'm not. If I have him, I'm still not starting him. Isaac Grindo season, baby. I guess I don't know. Yeah, that's something.
I'd wait till next week. Till next week.
Hopefully he comes back and we see some good things. Would love CMC to be good. He's such an exciting football player.
Well, he starts this week and he puts up 3 TDs, and we told you not to start him.
Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, that's why I'm not stamping that he's not startable. I'm just saying, err on the side of caution. Yeah, err on the side of caution. Jamison Williams officially reinstated by NFL after he took too many Viagra pills. And Dak Prescott out for the foreseeable future, possible stint on IR and maybe longer.
That's what Jerry Jones came out on the radio show and said he's likely to go on IR.
Yeah, likely to go on IR, and that injury is rough. The hammy went pop, Jason. We don't like to go pop. Speaking of other injuries, Drake London seems to be okay with a hip pointer. For some reason, my camera is still messing up. We'll need to call the tech team in, Jason. Call them in. Call the tech team in. But yeah, Drake London will be okay. Hip pointer expected to play again this week. And AJ Brown also okay. So that's what we heard. That's the MRI came back clean. He's quote unquote by Nick Sirianni. He's also like what a corny thing for a coach to say. He's okay. Like, all right. Thanks
He's
for
fine.
Yeah, thanks for the insight, my guy.
Sirianni isn't fine, but AJ Brown's fine.
Yeah, AJ Brown's fine. That's what matters. And now for one of my favorite segments, Jason, it's time for Fire and Ice. If you guys were with us for the old drop, it used to go longer and harder, but we have the cool graphics now. So shout out to our graphics team. I don't know who did that. Your hot list. Let's start them off hot, Jason. Ray Davis. Ray Davis is the man. Listen, no shade to James Cook, but Ray Davis looks like he could be the 1B in any backfield in the NFL, and he has an explosive twitch that you look for when thinking about a running back. He's one of those players that can take a 4-yard reception and turn it into a 60-yard touchdown, and it's just a difference maker. And I want to see more of it. I like and subscribe Ray Davis's play style and how this Bills offense is using him. I would like to use him a little more, though. Next on the hot list, Darnell Mooney. We've been pounding the drum for Darnell Mooney a lot this year. Fun fact, Atlanta Falcons have the 3rd easiest strength of schedule for remaining fantasy weeks, Jason. Fire up Darnell Mooney. He is an alpha who is not being treated as an alpha. Go trade for him. His value is like
Surf Swag Cousins, baby, is finding him.
He is, and also he's being treated like a wide receiver 30 when he's like a wide receiver 20 or 14 or 12. I don't even know where he's at right now. Based off of his massive game he had this week. Speaking of massive games, DeAndre Hopkins also joins Darnell Mooney on the hot list.
Who would have thought, Shane?
Yeah, shock that Patrick Mahomes gets a new toy and immediately puts it to use. He looks good. He will only continue to expand in his role in this offense, and he's something that Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs have hidden the fact that we don't have an X receiver in the history of Patrick Mahomes by using Travis Kelce. We now have an X receiver. He's really good. Patrick is going to rely heavily on him.
Hey, Shane, real quick, can I talk one thing about my boy, who I'm really hurt about, DeAndre Hopkins? One of the best hands in the game still, and I think you can agree with that. Yeah. And I feel like him and Devontae Adams are hand in hand for best hands in the game. Also, I think he's top 5 in most touchdown passes from a quarterback, or most quarterbacks in the NFL for a receiver. I think he has 14 touchdown passes from a different quarterback as a receiver.
So he has 14 touchdown receptions from receptions
from a quarterback in the NFL. My bad.
Mm-hmm. No, you're good. You're good. I was like trying to track what you were saying, and I was like,
yeah, sorry. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think he's top 5 on the list for it.
That's wild, and also tells you how he's quarterback proof, and now he's got Patrick Mahomes, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Next on the hot list, look, Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis. What are you guys doing? Get the man involved. Give him the rock. Let him go to work. He's the best player on your entire offensive unit, and it's not close. He's on my hot list because I think this is a massive buying opportunity before we go into the fantasy, trade deadline stuff. The NFL deadline takes place, and then obviously your fantasy deadlines happen a little later in the season for most people. And yeah, I think that this is a buying opportunity for JT after a down week from an offense that frankly looked lost. So yeah, I'm taking this opportunity to secure JT on my teams going forward because he is an alpha. He will be treated like one going forward. And do not disrespect the name. Speaking of don't disrespect the name, I'm going to butcher this one again. Devon Achane. I don't think I butchered it.
No, good job.
Tua. When he's back, Devon Achane has averaged 23 fantasy points. Insanity, Jason.
They got to respect the RPO, man. They got to respect it.
Tua fixed the running back, but can't fix his wide receivers. Give me all the HN you can possibly manage. He's going to continue to be an alpha. He has basically washed away all of the hate that I even bestowed on him in the preseason, saying he was going too high. So shout out Devon Achane. Keep balling out, my guy. And yeah, you are on fire. Now for the not list. The dirty not list. We were pretty good with our not list last week, Jason. So
yes, sir.
Keep a trend here. Not hot. Chuba Hubbard.
Ooh.
Chuba's been hot this year, and I've been, very happy with that. I have him in a couple of different leagues because he was very easy to acquire. However, Jonathan Brooks is officially off the IR and will be playing at least some, which will cut into Chuba's role. And Jonathan Brooks is a good wide receiver who has a lot of talent and has a lot of promise. And I think the Carolina Panthers want to see what he has. And unfortunately, I think that kind of nail in the coffin is what Chuba Hubbard's role is, which was a huge volume back who is explosive. So if you can still sell Chuba, this is your chance. But it's probably past the sell window.
What do you think? 75-25 for our listeners?
As far as split for his first game, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think that they'll ease him in. So maybe you'll get one more week you can sell Chuba. But yeah, it's gonna be rough getting anything in return for Chuba at this point. Now, speaking of guys who are down and out, Caleb Williams. I wish my camera would fix itself, but it won't. Caleb Williams and DJ Moore on my not list, Jason.
Yeah.
Caleb running for his life, and DJ Moore runs out of bounds and stops playing. I don't know how much better I can summarize these two players. If you haven't seen the clip, it's all over the internet. Go search it because people are up in arms about it, and rightfully so. DJ Moore quite literally let the Chicago Bears play with 10 guys on the field on offense for like an extra 20 seconds because Caleb just miraculously got away. And Caleb looked bad. Caleb looks like he's running around with his head cut off. Shocking, because it's like the Bears didn't invest at all in their offensive line. And we're getting the same product that they gave us with Justin Fields. And DJ just, unfortunately, is getting alphaed by Roma Dunze, who we shouted out last week on our hot list. So hopefully you acquired some of those shares before they went way up. Stonks. Not hot. Javonte Williams. Audric Estime officially is the man, according to Sean Payton. Jason, he, quote-unquote, Audric will be getting more touches going forward, which comes at the cost of Javonte, obviously, because, I mean, they're not going to take it from Jaleel. Jaleel's the pass catcher. Javonte is the running guy. And Javonte's been very mediocre so far this year, so maybe rightfully so.
It's hard to trust him, Shane. It's very hard to trust him. We've had 2 maybe good weeks, then very, very mediocre weeks. And after he's coming on a contract year, especially after the injury that he had that first year, it's like, damn, that kind of hurt our expectations for him. And it's now estimate. It's like, yo, hey, we have this guy. We're going to try to test him out. We know how the running back market is. We're going to roll with this new guy and see if he's worth it.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's honestly the right way to go, considering the fact
100%.
that they're just kind of glad to be here competing at this point, and you might as well test out all the toys while they're still fresh.
Exactly.
Now, Jason, let's get into our previews for the week, starting with Thursday Night Football. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the city of brotherly, Baltimore. Yeah, they're playing the Ravens. The total is 52.5. Jason, anybody noteworthy that you can think of aside from the big names that you would like to call out?
Are you trusting the new guys? That's the only thing I have the question of. DJ and Herbert. Those are the only 2 guys that I'm questioning right now. If you're gonna trust one, are you gonna trust DJ?
I'm trusting DJ more. I think this game, total of 52.5 tells me this game is going to be incredibly high scoring.
Yeah. Do you trust DJ enough to start him?
You're not going to start him in your flex. So, I know he's Thursday night, so that's the issue. I would lean towards the yes, but I would like to see it before I'm back. But if I'm backed into the corner, it's a choice between
with bye weeks and
DJ.
Injuries, it's just hard.
I'm going to take DJ
option. And we've talked about this. He's going to be option 5 in the offense with who do we say? It's Zay Flowers.
No, it's Eric Henry runs.
Henry Flowers, Andrews, then Lamar running, then him.
Yeah, it's Henry running the football, Lamar running the football. And then Zay Flowers catching the football, Mark Andrews catching the football.
Yeah,
and then Deontay Johnson. Yeah, that's the 5. But yeah, it's tough. I think that Gesicki's a start still. We saw it last week. He blew up, and Eric Gall being hurt helps the fact that he's going to stay on the field. He won't have to rotate now, which kind of was hampering his fantasy value. Isaiah Likely's droppable at this point. He's been a no-show, and Mark Andrews is back to being Mark Andrews.
God, I feel sorry for the people that spent all their fab on Likely early in the season after week 1 or 2.
Likely wouldn't be me on that one.
Not me either. Mark Andrews. Bang.
Bang. Next game, we have the meanest thing we've done to Germany in a long time. The Giants and Panthers play in Munich this week. Total is 41.5.
Oh my God.
You're gonna hate me for saying this, Jason. I like the Giants passing attack this week. Carolina can't stop anything. Like that's it. Like they just can't stop anything.
I heard rumors that they were going to trade J.C. Horn, and I'm surprised that didn't happen.
That would have been sick if that would have been like my top want aside from Marshawn Lattimore. My top want for the Chiefs would be to get J.C. Horn, but that's here nor there because it didn't happen. I like the Giants passing attack. I mean, at the same time, I feel like Daniel Jones actually does have a good game this week. Yeah, and Tyron Tracy is going to have a good game. Panthers' run defense is terrible.
Yeah, I feel like there will be points scored in this game.
Yeah, and I think Chuba could have a hard time because that Giants' run defense is pretty dang good. Their interior line is ferocious.
Look for Xavier. Leggett. Yeah, Leggett to have a great game. I like that to happen.
Yeah, I could see that. He and Bryce Young seem to have some sort of chemistry going, so that's a cool. And then Jalen Coker, I mean, fantasy darling of the year, I guess. Midway through, all right, all the cokeheads out there, man. Yeah. Next game, the New England Patriots travel to Chicago to take on the Wild Bears. Total is 39.5. This game is going to be an absolute snooze fest, Jason.
It's the one that you leave in the corner and you don't watch unless something happens with the score or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think we all know who we're starting. Ramondre has made a return back in the fantasy world after the couple off weeks that he's had, and I love that for them. Other than that, I mean, it's...
Would you start Drake May?
Yes.
Okay. Even against the Bears defense?
Yes. If you're in a super flex, I would. If you aren't in super flex, no.
Oh, see, I think he's like QB 14 for me again this week, even against the Bears, because he's not afraid to just tuck that and run. And like
he's looked
it's
good.
3 points.
He's looked good. He's looked he's looked better than Caleb Williams over the past couple weeks.
You know, there's something to be said for that because Caleb and that offense looks pretty atrocious. I do think that Rome could have another big game. He's not going to be shadowed by Christian Gonzalez because the threat of DJ Moore.
Yeah, but we all know who we're starting. Are you starting Cole Kmet though?
I don't think I am.
Okay. Are you starting Keenan Allen?
No, I'm starting Hunter Henry over Cole Kmet.
Yeah. Okay. No, and I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Pop Douglas deserves a shout out. So Pop Douglas should be added on most teams.
I agree with all that.
Other than that, moving on to a not gross game. The Minnesota Vikings travel down south to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Total is 47.5.
Take this away.
Take this away?
I mean, I think we know who we're starting in this game.
I mean, you're starting the normal guys for the Vikings, and the normal guys now includes DJ Hawkinson because he's back healthy. Hooray! This is great for fantasy. Mm-hmm. And the Jaguars, you're starting Evan Ingram, and you're starting Brian Thomas, even though he had a bad week last week. Are still starting him.
Yeah.
The running backs, I guess you're gonna maybe think about starting Tink Bigsby. And you're going to think about starting Travis Etienne?
You invested too much in Etienne to not start him.
Yeah, I agree. And this should be a game script where Etienne gets involved. 1 week removed. Like last week, him being back was his first week back from injury. I think they were kind of easing him back in. They still have faith that he's the guy. So I think that we'll have to see what happens this week. But I think that the game script leans towards them getting some points put up on them because neither of these past defenses is very good. So I think it'll be an interesting game. I think that you can fire up any of the fantasy players involved and feel pretty confident that you're going to get some sort of production from the big name guys. Next game is a fun one. Who would have thought I was going to say that when reading this game earlier in the year? Steelers Commanders. Total is 45.5. That is incredibly high for a Steelers game. That's just blows my mind to read that. But the Steelers putting up points and the Commanders look like they can't be stopped. Brian Robinson possible to be back this week. So that's
Doesn't matter.
something.
You're starting any running back in that backfield.
Whoever is the running back in the Commanders'
exactly.
backfield is who you're starting. And then for the Steelers, I mean, you're starting Najee. I'm leaning towards starting Jalen Warren. He hasn't produced yet, but I think that the boom is coming. And, I think that the Commanders are going to put up a lot of points, and it's going to force the Steelers to speed up their offense. I think that suits Jalen Warren immensely. So maybe leaning over Warren over Najee, and then obviously you're starting George Pickens. If you have Pat Freiermuth, you're probably starting him. Yeah, he's not sexy, but you got to start him. And the Commanders, Noah Brown deserves a shout out. He's still doing things.
Shout out Noah Brown, man.
And Scary Terry, obviously, doing all the things that Terry does. So not a whole lot of fun names in that one. But
and shout out guys Matt for beating me on Rookie of the Year for Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is that dude.
He has been playing amazingly well. So it is pretty crazy what we've seen from Daniels so far. Bills at the Colts. Josh Allen, 7-0 inside a dome. Jason with a passer rating of 101. The Bills Colts game is a 46-point total. The Colts look miserable on offense. And the only person I really feel confident starting and enjoying it is Jonathan Taylor. Josh Downs is somebody who I'd start, but I'm probably closing my eyes when I hit the lock-in player position. And the Bills, you're starting whoever you have.
Facts. No, and I agree with that. I agree. Yeah.
Khalil Shakur gonna get 10 points. Keon Coleman gonna get 10 points. If Amari Cooper's healthy, he's gonna get 10 points. Dalton Kincaid's gonna do, what he's done this year. Get targeted. He got targeted 10 times last week, Jason. 10 times for 36 yards.
When Josh Allen's hot. When Josh Allen's hot, dude, it's rough.
Kincaid turning 10 targets into 3 catches for 36 yards is bonkers. That's just the most aggravating thing I saw. Or 4 catches for 30. Most aggravating thing I've seen all week.
But you love the numbers.
Yes, yeah. The production, if he continues to get that volume, which Amari, when he's healthy, will cut into that volume. But it's a good sign. You feel much better being a Kincaid owner at that point. But yeah, I think that this Colts defense it's getting better. Don't get me wrong. The Colts defense is getting better now that they're healthy, but it's still not a good unit. So Go ahead and fire up the Bills and let them rock. Broncos Chiefs, the total for this game in Arrowhead, 41.5 and opened at 46. So people downgrading the Kansas City Chiefs offense immensely, apparently. What do you think, Jason? I'm partial, so I'll let you take away on this one.
Broncos Chiefs. I mean, you got to start Kareem Hunt after what they do on the ground game right there. The Chiefs know who they are. They have their identity, and you know what it looks like. You're starting DeAndre Hopkins. You're starting Travis Kelce. I wouldn't start anybody else Worthy. It's hit or miss. That's what you get. 3, 4 you probably get 5 targets a game. You probably get 3 catches. You're hoping for that 1 TD and that big long ball out of Worthy. It's hit or miss. It's a flex spot out of Worthy. With the Broncos, I wouldn't start a running back in the offense. I think Shane can agree with you don't start a running back in the offense, not as we've seen so far going forward. And if you get killed out of that, you're okay with it because you haven't seen it over the past 2 weeks. Bo Nix might be a potential start after what Baker did, but I don't think he's the thrower that we've seen. I wouldn't start really anybody from the Broncos this week. I feel like the Chiefs have a get right week on defense, so I'm starting only Chiefs players. Broncos side, I'm wavering a little bit, and I'm being very conservative.
I'd probably fire up Cortland Sutton.
But I'm conservative. I'm very conservative on that.
Sutton's probably a guy that I would consider heavily. Kansas City, fun fact, Jason, I was laughing. You were mentioning Worthy. Worthy is my buy candidate of the week. So let me just go ahead and put that in writing.
But it's a very hit or miss kind of week for him.
It's a win your fantasy league trade.
Yeah,
if you are correct. And the Chiefs have one of the weakest strength of schedules against wide receivers, like one of the easiest strength of schedules for wide receivers for the remainder of their schedule for fantasy. So stamp it here. Xavier Worthy, buy candidate of the week. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head though with your analysis. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a mosh pit. The Chiefs tend to just play mosh pit games, and it's awful and great. On to a more fun game. The Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Total is 46 and a half. We talked about Darnell Mooney. He's a start. You're starting Drake London if he's healthy. You're probably starting Kyle Pitts if he's healthy. You're definitely starting Bijan. Ray McLeod, Jason, how are we feeling? He was on my drop list 2 weeks ago. And then
you get lucky with Ray McLeod because I have Ray McLeod in my fantasy league, and I have to start him because of my injuries. So I'm only getting lucky based on they're double covering London, and you hope he gets something over the middle and hope he gets a target in the end zone. So it's one of those things.
Hope he runs for a million miles.
Exactly.
You just hope he catches like 3 balls from the slot and runs 20 yards. That's what you hope.
I do like Taysom Hill.
The Saints, I was going to say Taysom Hill is playable.
And
Alvin Kamara. The Falcons have been very weak against running backs this year. So Alvin Kamara, definitely a fire up. Taysom Hill, definitely a fire up. The Saints are going to be without Chris Olave. He got concussed. So they already don't have Rashish.
If I have him,
they don't have anybody else. Mason Tipton, Bup Means, like what are we gonna do? I don't know. Next game, 49ers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This game has a total of 50 and a half or 51 and a half some places.
Oh, I love this game.
And it's climbing. So this is a game that people are expecting tons and tons of points from. My play of the week is Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have one from this game that you like that's an outlier?
An outlier? I mean, you have to start Kate Otten now. And I think you have to lean towards Bucky Irving in that offense and what he does out of the backfield.
Oh no, I don't disagree at all. I think Bucky does fantastic work.
Because we were always leaning to you can't start anybody out of the backfield for the Buccaneers. Rachaad White did score out of the backfield yesterday, but that was just a inside handoff at the goal line. But Bucky Irvin got all the important touches in that game.
Yeah, and if you're playing a PPR league, Bucky Irving's the guy to have because he's the one that's producing once he catches the football. So yeah, I like the Bucky Irving call out, and yeah, Cade's a smash start. Even though the Niners defense is pretty stout against tight ends, but, Baker has to throw somebody, and he trusts Cade.
No gloves, Cade. I love the no glove. I love the no glove tight end.
My other sneaky shot would be Isaac Rendell. I think that CMC,
agreed.
Coming back from the IR is sus, and Jordan Mason being hurt. I think Rendell is in a spot
I need
to
to play him this week.
A pretty increased workload, and I agree. I don't think that the Niners will need to play CMC this week against the Bucs. For the next game, it's an ugly one. The Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Superchargers.
You can take it away. Take it away.
The Titans, I don't. Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard. Yeah, but they lost Lloyd Cushenberry, their center. So I don't feel great about that. Especially because this Chargers defense is stout. The Chargers side, J.K. Dobbins and Josh Palmer. I mean, Quentin Johnston looks legit, I guess. Somehow Harbaugh fixed him. Lad McConkey is that dude. I'd fire up my Chargers guys if I have them. And other than that, like, I'd try not to start a Titan if I could.
Yeah, agreed.
The Jets and Arizona Cardinals, 46.5. That line has literally not moved. Smack dab at 46.5. Where it opened. What do you got, Jay? You love the Jets. What do you got for me?
I think that you have to just rely on the core three of the Jets. Aaron Rodgers wants to throw to Devontae. Garrett Wilson ripped my heart out of my chest last Thursday with the Jordan catch in the end zone. I feel like they are gaining a chemistry in that offense, and they are going to rely on that. And I feel like that will help out everything. Tyler Conklin might be a good play in this game.
Yeah, I would love to say that.
Are the Cardinals decent versus tight ends?
No, they're not. But they, his role has just gotten so wonky with.
I know I really want to say Conklin right now because we all know who we're starting with the Cardinals, and I wish Marvin Harrison would freaking figure it out because we all drafted him high. But at the same time, it's like if I wanted to have a risky play, it would be Conklin.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're on the right track there. My other risky play would be Trey Benson.
Okay, yeah.
On the other side, I think that he's getting a more solidified role that the Cardinals are giving him. And I think that this game's going to be high scoring. And I think that the Cardinals aren't just going to be able to run with one guy. I don't think James Conner can handle, all of the touches. So I think that, yeah.
He looks good too.
He does. He looks explosive, which, is what we saw. So you love to see it. We'd love to see more of it. But, James Conner is that dude. So we probably won't see a ton of it. I will say that I do think the Jets passing attack, you fire up everybody, and then obviously Breece Hall. So
then you hope. Yeah.
Yeah, and you hope. And on to the next game, which is probably going to be a massacre. Eagles Cowboys. Eagles traveling to Dallas was going to be a marquee matchup. Total is 41.5. Cowboys without Dak, maybe no CD. Eagles gonna absolutely roll them. You're starting Saquon, and
I don't know. Like, for some reason, I feel like this could be a trap game for a lot of bettors. So, for our betting people that listen to this, I would stay away from this game unless you're absolutely sure about the Eagles because of Sirianni's crazy play calls and decisions and whatnot. But yeah, Shane, you're right. You stick with your playmakers for the Eagles. Cowboys, they're going to be without Dak. They might be without CD. Brandon Cooks might be back. You get Turbin. You get Rico Dalbo. You get Ferguson.
Jalen Tolbert? I would say, yeah, Fergie is a good
might
play.
be the only one. Yeah.
Jalen Tolbert, I feel like, is playable. But yeah, the Cowboys just number one. This just looks like a lost season for the Cowboys. Yeah. And yeah, the Eagles you're playing.
And if you get hurt by these backups for the Cowboys, it is what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Unless I'm desperate, I'm not trying to start anybody not named CD or maybe Rico or maybe Fergie.
Facts.
Now for a fun game with a high over under 48.5 Lions Texans. Jason, do you want to talk about your Texans or do you want me to talk about them?
I want you.
Tank Dell is a fire play. The Lions secondary is still suspect. It's a great way to attack them. You do not want to try to run the football against them, but the Texans are going to, and Joe Mixon is a for sure fire. So, Tank Dell,
best running back in the league.
Arguably, yes. Yeah, Mixon's fire. Tank Dell's fire. I would like to say Xavier Hutchinson.
No.
but I
No.
don't know who's playing the slot for the Texans. So
Yeah.
that's the issue is I don't know who's going to get that role. And if it ends up being Tank Dell, he's going to be the only beneficiary of that. So that's who primarily hurts the Lions, the slot receivers. I think Tank will line up there to take advantage of that. And
I do feel like that they haven't had much of a pass rush in the past 3 weeks, so we could possibly take advantage of that, and that's why that over/under is so high.
yeah, it actually dropped out, opened at 50, so it is coming down.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So 48 is a lot of points.
Yeah.
So you kind of want some assets if you have them. You want to play.
Yeah, take this full game over. You're good. Yeah, go ahead.
The Lions are starting all of the normal guys. That is it. You're starting the normal guys, and you're moving on because there's not a single fringe player that I feel super comfortable with because all of the fringe guys just cannibalize each other. A la Khalil Raymond and who was it that caught a pass the other? I didn't even know he's on the team. I'm blanking.
Jameson Williams is starting
Josh
this
Reynolds?
week, though, right?
Who? Yes,
Jameson
Jamo's
Williams?
playing this week, so Jamo's fired up for sure,
Okay.
and Amon Ra and David Montgomery. You're playing the main guys, and that's the analysis on that one. This game's going to be high scoring.
Prime time, baby. We prime
it
time
is.
now.
It is Sunday Night Football, baby. That's an exciting game to watch, and definitely we front and center. Now, for Monday Night Football, we have the Miami Dolphins traveling to L.A. to play the Rams. Over-under is 50, Jason. What do we got?
I think you're firing up the usuals, man. Puka, as long as he doesn't throw another stupid-ass punch for somebody that's weak. I still don't understand why NFL players throw punches at guys with the helmets on, but hey, it is what it is. And he went to BYU. I was like, I thought you were a Mormon, dude. Anyways, I think you're firing up Puka. I think you're firing up Kyron, Matthew Stafford. You're firing up Cup. You're firing up Tyreek. You have to, especially where you drafted him. You're firing up A-Chain, especially after his week that he had last week with Tua. I think you're firing up Waddle. Are you firing up Jonnu?
Yeah, I'm firing up Jonnu. The Rams, their secondary is rough, man. So I'm firing up all of the Miami.
What's that over under at?
50.
5-0. Yeah. Fire him up.
And then for the Rams side, you missed one. DeMarcus Robinson should be added.
Yeah.
And
he's balling out in the red zone, bro.
He's balling out, period. The craziest thing is the fact that it took Cooper Kupp and Puka to return to allow him the coverage to get him in the role that fits him the best. Like having the two alphas on the field fits DeMarcus to beat.
I knew I was forgetting one guy. I knew I was forgetting one.
Yeah, definitely DeMarcus Robinson. Fire him up if you have him. Other than that, it's going to be a wacky weekend of football with a game in Germany. It's going to be a long day. Lock in. Go ahead and grab you a beer, grab a cold beverage, crack it open at 8:30 in the morning and in the night at 7:20 with the Alliance Texans, baby. If you guys have any questions, make sure to either hit us up down below in the comments or head on over to fantasy6pack.net and join the Discord because you can get access to any of us and more analysts out there that work for the fantastic fantasy6pack.net. Remember, go like, subscribe, and follow us on all of your podcasting platforms. We appreciate you and love you to the moon and back. Jason, you know what to do.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything that y'all do for us. Hey, Fantasy Six Pack, you're the best. Thank you so much. Hey, go follow us and hit us up if you have any questions. Holla at your boy. Have a great week.
In the meantime, peace out.